There
was.
They were standing there to sign in.
Yes.
For almost 2 hours. Well,
Yes.
the fans.
And the fans at the front, at the top. Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever seen fans
2 hours early.
2 hours early.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they was lined up. And, I'd seen them go back. If you're familiar with Southern Oregon, if you're looking at the gate coming in, you turn around and look back, there's kind of a hill behind you, behind the parking area. Mm-hmm. And I've seen them lined up to the hill. But this is the first time I've seen them lined up and then to the right and go down 30 yards.
Oh, yeah.
There was probably 100 people in line.
And it was like that for quite a long time. We had a great crowd.
Over an hour. Over an hour.
Easy.
I kept watching it would grow, it would shrink,
and it was still coming in when the races started.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, we had a full house.
We did. And I'm glad we did, and this is why. I want to hit this topic first where we actually started talking about the race. And we did our Dawson Rose Memorial helmet. We took it through the pits. Everybody saw the pictures on Moxie Beam Promotions Facebook page. We must have had 80 signatures on that thing. I mean, there wasn't
much room left.
There wasn't. There really wasn't. In fact, the last person to sign it was Tanner Holmes. I actually had to peel off the shield cover, where it says, warning, all that BS. I had to peel that off just so he could sign the visor. There was no room left, and I've been looking for him all day. Finally caught up with him, got his signature, and we did. I gotta say, everybody out there at Southern Oregon Speedway and those who donated to the fund, thank you. Did a fantastic job. And this is what I love about racing. When we talk about, honestly, I'm not a big fan of the words racing family. It's so overused, It's like I don't like when P1. People say P1. I've started P4 and finished P6. No, you started 4th and finished 6th. This isn't Formula 1. But there's those terms in racing that I don't like.
Yeah.
Racing family, as good as it is, and it's a good thing, I just don't like it. Because it's so overused.
It's cliche, I think.
It is.
All.
And I'm not one, I don't use cliche terms. That's just not me. But that group of people down there came together, signed we got to the point where we got tired of walking through the pits, and then we actually stood at the sign-in gate and waited for drivers just to sign it. And we did very, very well with the number of signatures. I mean, it was a beautiful helmet from Speed City. We had at least 80 signatures on there.
It seems like when the drivers were signing, too, they were also pulling money out of their pockets.
Yeah, that's where I was going, is the donations that came in from the drivers. I'm not talking to the fan side. I'm talking about the drivers. Those drivers, they pay to race. It's an expensive sport. But the generosity, the generosity that came out of that pit area with those teams was, I was blown away. There were some people that gave 5. There were some people that gave 50. All we were trying to do was help a family. And there was actually, when we counted the money, you guys, I don't know if you saw us count the money.
I was there.
There was 3 $100 bills in there. Mm-hmm. Okay? These are teams that are paying to race. And we all know when you're in racing, you're not making money. That is generosity right there, guys. That the whole Southern Oregon Speedway teams, fans.
Even the crew.
The crew members, yes, there was crew members pitching in, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate everybody down there. Truly cannot put it in words because
I got goosebumps again.
I know, and you just can't help it. If you got a soul and you see something like that, people coming together to help out somebody in this tragic situation was awesome. Now, we did present the final money, okay, and I will tell you guys, I'm not going to give an exact number, but we're looking plus or minus. I'm going to say plus or minus, okay, because I don't want everybody to know the exact number, but it's going to be right around, either way, $3,000, you guys.
That's good.
That is fantastic.
That's very good.
That is fantastic. I am proud of every one of you guys on the team. I mean, you guys helped. You guys took the helmet. You walked the crowd. You took donations from the teams. We all have something to do, and everybody had to go out of their way to kind of help out with this, and you guys were awesome as a crew. You, Dave, Nina, every one of you guys brought money from somewhere to put into that helmet. And I know, Gary, you came across and worked the pits, the Grandstad side with Sandy a lot and did an awesome job raising funds. Ed, you had some kind words on the mic that I think actually really, really helped with.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sandy and I got a ton of money.
You guys did.
The first night.
Yes,
we did.
You did. And that's when I say the fans and the teams, what an awesome group. It's been a while since we've had to do something like that. Normally we do a lot with Shriners. This year we've been, being the fact we're in a different location and all the circumstances, that was big for us. I was proud to be a part of that. You guys are awesome.
I let people know when we were doing that Dawson's family was there Saturday night.
They were.
And there were several times that Gary and I were walking through, and I'd look up and see Mom sitting there, and she was just in tears. She just, they just can't thank everybody enough.
Well, and you're right. Dawson's
There's no
mom.
words.
Dawson's mom, Kirsten, was there. She actually pulled the winning ticket for the helmet. She told me, I want to do this. I want to do this, and I want to thank everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's fantastic. But when it comes time to get in that moment, it's a whole different ballgame. Even for me, as an announcer who's in front of large crowds talking about stuff, when it comes to something like this, you've got to check yourself because emotions start coming up.
It gets personal.
It does. Well, and for
Very
me,
personal.
and that's the thing for me, this deal was really personal. I've been friends with this family for a long, long time, and I can tell you right now what kind of people they are. They are absolutely amazing people that just have been on the last couple of years couldn't catch a break. And what this racing community did was showed everybody, hey, listen, we're here. Well, let's help each other out. It was cool. She came down to draw the ticket. She was going to, give a thank you and talk, and couldn't do it. And I don't blame her. I don't know how she even thought she was going to. I certainly, I don't think I could have.
I have to give her kudos for actually going down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drove almost 5 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, actually being down
Yeah,
in front
to
of the
stand
people,
down there.
to
Yeah.
stand in front of the people, that to me took a lot of courage.
And
It
she
did.
is the sweetest. She's the sweetest girl in the world.
She is.
She's just. I've only just gotten to know her, and Corey's known the family for years, and I know Grandma, but I didn't know Kirsten, and man, she's like a kid to me. She's a sweet
Well,
girl.
and you, Sandy, can relate to her on a level because you guys have something in common that not many people do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I know she's turned to you and she's talked to you about advice, and I know that you've been a big part of her
Processing
yeah.
that.
But I was just really proud of our team. I was really proud of Southern Oregon Speedway fans and drivers, everybody coming together, like you said, crew members, and a huge thank you to Mike McCann for allowing us to do that.
We did ask him ahead of time, of course, because we didn't want to step on any toes or do something.
Well, and the thing about it was when Sandy approached him, and she barely got the words out, and Mike was like, whatever you want. I mean, that was big of him to allow that. It happened at another track. But, like I said, Mike's a racer. He's there for the sport. And, again, thank you to him and everybody that helped out. It was awesome.
What's good for the sport, good for the fans, good for the racers.
That's right. Everybody.
That's the name of the game.
Yep. So we got a little message here. This is interesting. Ryan Nelson just shot us a message that says, big news, guys. Nelson Racing will be in Sport Mods next season. Hopefully, you guys will be back to watch the adventure.
Adventure it would be.
Well, yeah. We'll talk about that later. But the Nelson Gang and Sport Mods, I love that division. It's competitive. I love the concept behind it because it hasn't got completely out of hand yet. And we'll talk a little bit about that. We've had some conversations, Gary. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. But I want to talk about racing 2 weeks ago, Southern Oregon Speedway. We saw some pretty cool action. Here's the thing. There was some really, really good racing. And I think what happened during the night made it awesome just because we had 5 divisions, right? Mm-hmm. In those 5 divisions, 3 first-time winners this year. Mm-hmm. I loved watching that.
No repeats.
Well, we had some repeats.
Yeah, we had some
with
repeats.
3 out of 5.
But with 3 different ones.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. And one of those was in the IMCA Modifieds. And talk about a guy that earned the win. Zach Fettinger in the 88. Go back and watch the video on Moxie Media Promotions from the Skycam when Ed had the drone up and followed him. Great job on the video, by the way.
Thank you.
Did a great job focusing on the action, not getting too far away from the leaders because there was a good race going there. A lot of action behind him. But if you look at where Zach started, he earned that win. He drove to the front, deep in the field, actually. You know what's cool about this? When I say IMCA Modifieds and Fettinger getting his first win of the season, do you guys realize he's the 5th winner in 5 races?
5 races. Different winner each week.
We have not had a repeat winner in the Modifieds yet. At what point does this, it can only go so long before somebody else has to win. The most I have seen this happen was at a track here in the Valley that had 11 different winners before someone repeated, and that was in the IMCA Modifieds. It was awesome. It was a great season to watch. But Zach Vettinger, 25-lap modified feature, he won it. He's the current point leader. He came in as the points leader. He's leaving the points leader. 5th different winner in 5 races. And he had a race for the lead. He got into a race for the lead because Dave Dusty started on the front row in that 73 car, and at one point it looked like nobody had anything for him. He had a huge lead. He checked out, and Fettinger was kind of stuck in traffic trying to get his way out of, he was bobbing and weaving and working stuff, and there was 3 wide ahead of him, and he was doing everything he could to get out of there to have a shot at the win. He swept the night. He won the heat, he won the dash, and he won the main to become the first winner, his first win this year. There was some really, really good racing behind those guys, but the race between him and Dave Dusty is an experienced race car driver, especially at Southern Oregon Speedway. He's been there. The Dusty name has been around that track a long time. He's a good driver. He was smooth, and he did everything he could to keep that door closed on the 88 and just couldn't quite get it done. I think it was just past the halfway point.
The hinge was off of it there for a while.
Well, I don't know if it was that or if it was Fettinger kicking it in, but, there was no contact. Did you guys watch the race out for the lead?
Of course I did.
These guys,
every bit.
That's when I say a great race.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. There was no bump and grind. The respect these drivers showed each other, went at it door to door, high side, low side, single file when they had to. It was a fantastic race. That's the kind of racing you want to see as a fan when you come in to pay your money, sit in the stands. They got it from these 2 drivers.
And you know what I like going through the turns? They were just stacked in there.
Oh man! Yeah.
Sometimes you wonder if you could slip a dollar bill in between them.
At times, yeah. They were that close.
4 wide.
Yeah.
We saw that too.
3 and 4 wide, bunch of times.
A lot of 3s, a few 4s.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good.
And a lot of 2s.
A lot of 2s.
A lot of 2s.
Yeah,
I love that.
And they were door handle to door handle.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. And if you watch that race again, a driver that was kind of dealing with traffic when he broke out and started to run. He didn't run the guys down, but he was moving. He got in a great race with Jeremy Ritchie Jr. The 14 car was Jesse Bailey. Jesse Bailey was about the only guy to step up and try the high side, and he found something. He could get that car in better than anybody else in the turns on the high side. You get that car to the apex, it would rotate, get up on the bars. There just wasn't a lot up there to get a hold of, and him and Richie were, how many laps were those guys side by side for? It was incredible how long those guys went door to door.
Well, I went back and watched that race like 3 times. I really
that was a good race.
I know it. It was
fantastic
excellent.
race. It truly was. And Jeremy Ritchie was he won the second heat race, along with the first one going to Fettinger. But Albert Gill, the defending track champion, he had some bad luck. Motor issues, didn't start the main event, which was uncharacteristic of the 89C car. I think that he might be the next guy to win a feature if he shows up and pulls it off. 6 wins or 6 winners in 6 races. How cool would that be? If anybody can do it, it'd be the 89C car. Like I said, defending track champion. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. Dusty actually started on the front row for the main event and checked out. He was gone. Orsburn in the 0 car was running second for quite a while. and Fettinger,